Hey, what's going on everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force. Let's get this video in before the blinding light comes out too soon here today, this morning in Germany. And I just want to talk to you guys about a little bit of a math update for Quasar and the Intel shop. I'm sober now. I've been able to sit down, do some math, break down the numbers in terms of the Intel currency and also Quasar, when the expected Quasar unlock is, how much of this actually matters when it comes to the command center, and do a bit of a deeper dive over there. Also cover a few things that I missed from yesterday because, I had been drinking a little bit, but let's boil this down today. Before we go any further, there's a few things that I do want to acknowledge that I missed out yesterday that my Discord and also the YouTube comments did point out, is that the Battle Pass does have in the paid track, it's probably towards the end here, isn't it? That they do have the G20 minis somewhere down here, right? Wherever, yeah, it's probably right at the end, isn't it? Somehow I missed it, I guess, because it's just this set of 5. So you're getting 25 G20 minis. What I don't like is that it's only one side of the mini, so it's all the origins, but you're only getting 5 of one side. I guess what the expectation or hope is that maybe the Strike Pass has the other 5. I don't know. Whether or not that's good enough value for you to buy the RTA pass is entirely up to you at 25 pieces total. But again, my concern is that it's going to lead to lopsidedness, where you're going to have more of one mini than the other, so much so where it becomes a problem and you have all this extra and it doesn't actually do you any good. So there you go. If you do want to purchase that, I suppose I'm not really advocating for spending necessarily. We'll see what happens next week with the Strike Pass, if they make it more good, I guess, for G20s. And there is Intel, of course, in the RTA Pass and the free track, so that was a bit surprising, but also well noted as well. And the other thing is that I missed out that, so there's my Shadow King, which I'm so close to buying the 7 red. So I'm going to be getting that pretty soon. And also Old Man Logan diamonds are in the Elite store as well. So just wanted to do a bit of a recap there for you. In case, apparently that was pushed very hard by the Envoys, and if that's the case, then good on them for being able to get that into the shop for us, because the last thing that I had heard was that it was supposed to be in the Intel store, unless I've been too drunk lately and I got hit on the head and I couldn't remember, but I'm pretty sure I didn't read anywhere else suggesting these both of the characters, frankly, were going into the Elite store. And I'm going to reiterate once again, the priorities. Some people have said the shards are good, but I really, really, really want to stress that Xavier is the most important thing in the game right now. That's just what it is. And so you're going to want to buy these G20 minis. And you can find them in apparently 10x variants. This is just today. I noticed that there's a 10x version of this, so 5x and 10x, which you are going to need to spend your Intel on a weekly basis as well. And we're going to talk about that breakdown as to how much Intel that we're going to get. Now, as of now, there is no Intel source for there is in raids. It is not in Cosmic Crucible or Alliance War. It was there's a little bit in Blitz, but honestly, it's super tiny. And we'll see. I highly doubt they're throwing in a Battle World, but I don't know if they have plans to add it into Alliance War and Cosmic Crucible. Did they say something about that? Someone in my Discord said maybe they might be, but I don't remember necessarily reading about it. But let me know in the comments down below. And they did fix the bug about the event stuff. So they sent out 30 ability orbs, I guess, to fix some problem with the campaign that was going on, the showcase for that one. So let's dive into the command center a little bit more. This is what we're going to be spending most of today looking at. And for the purposes of this, we're going to be taking a look at both the Harbinger Week 1 and how that kind of funnels into, I guess, the Harbinger Monthly. And make sure you're doing this stuff. It's super easy. The weird thing is that I thought this was replacing the milestones. I'm afraid now they're going to actually do it, but I thought that they were replacing Golden Opportunity and Save the World. I thought this was just falling under the or was there another one? No, it's just these ones, right? That are falling under the command center umbrella. But now we're getting double the amounts of cores. We're still getting the 50 cores from spending the 1 million or whatever down here. And we're also getting 50 cores. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's double the cores. How long is it going to last? I don't know. I was under the assumption that they were getting rid of some of these milestones and then chucking it into the command center here. So you can still see that you get 40 cores for spending 300 energy, which is actually like nothing. 300 is pretty low. So there you go. You get some free cores, 90 free cores every single day just for doing this stuff, which is good. And this is going to help you get the Quasar shard. So I'm going to bring up my table here. We're going to start. I want to start with the Intel currency though. So this is just the total. This is total accumulation that I'm aware of that you can get for Intel currency. If I'm missing something, please let me know. I think I checked everything. I do want to talk about some of this stuff that probably is going to be temporary, and that's going to be the login claim calendar, which we have right now. For those of you who maybe forgot about this going on, that you're getting the daily rewards for the Intel daily gift. This is where I'm at day 5. There should be 5 more days of this. Obviously, it's just going to be for this week. It's not going to filter into week 2. We'll see what happens, on a weekly basis, I guess, when week 2 comes up. And I guess there's still room to talk about these things in event videos, of course, I guess doing updates and things like this as well to keep people apprised about what's going on. But I'm basically going to assume that you're going to have, not earned, but you're going to have at least 100,000 Intel from this calendar to use at your disposal for the spending part. Now, you get about 50,000 per week on the RTA pass. There's 100,000 total. RTA passes last for about 2 weeks. So I guess I'm assuming that you're at least picking up 50K every week. I think is how it's gonna work out for this. It's kind of important because some of the command center stuff actually, requires you to earn Intel. So you're getting points. Where is it in the Harbinger one though, where you're gathering Intel? So you're gathering 100. This should be no problem, right? 100,000 is very low. Everyone should be able to do this. There's gathering 200,000 though, and gathering 300,000 Intel. Now, this is definitely still possible, but I just want to kind of point out that it says gather, not, and we'll see what happens on week 2 if they have something similar or not. But this is going to be very important to like a strategy to some degree that I'm going to be talking about. And you're basically getting, this is where you're going to get a whole bunch of extra purple ISO. That's where they're hiding it, guys, is all the way down here, because you can see that there's 200, like, I don't know, whatever this is, like 250, 400, 600,000. There's a lot, 760,000 purple ions in week 1. This is a lot. No wonder they're giving like 0 in the event leaderboard stuff. So there you go. But in terms of being able to clear that, you're going to want to like basically score this stuff, right? The 200,000, 300,000 Intel. And we're going to talk about how you're going to be able to get to that a little bit easier if you want that purple ISO stuff. So let's talk about there's like F all in the blitzes. There's like 3,000 in the milestone that unless I counted wrong, I'm pretty sure it was just like 10 milestones at 300 apiece, or something like that. This was for the character blitz. Maybe we're going to get some more on the Friday blitz or the orb blitzes. I don't know, but it's probably not going to be that much. Let's talk about the raids. So that's this stuff here. Now I'm doing, so what I should have said is Chaos Raid D5 normal. So I'm still running Chaos Raid normal, but I'm running it at D5 on the nodes. That's what I'm doing for now. And this leads me to about 4,800 daily points from the completion rewards and just doing 10 nodes. And I do want to kind of show people that as well, in case you guys haven't seen that, what that looks like, because it might vary if you're doing Omega. So I just wanted to show this from my perspective. So the rewards, it's not much, right, what you get here, because the rewards are not important. Rewards are not really the important stuff. What is important is the node rewards when you're doing the normal version of it, because that's where you're going to see a lot of these rewards. So you can see that 150 is the flat Intel rewards there, and then you get an additional 300 per node. So that's 450 per node for every D5 Chaos Raid node. And it doesn't change on the final boss either. It's still 450 for every node. So for the math, how I've done it is I've just added the 300 from the completion, and then 450 times 10, so 4,500. That's where the 4,800 comes from. Spotlight also has something similar, but I find that I'm not really getting in as many Spotlight nodes, at least by the time I'm rating, that I can clear. So I've only put 6 nodes down, plus the completion reward, but the completion reward, I believe it's 70%, or sorry, at 100% is 4,000 Intel. So that every day, plus it's 290 at D2 per node. I just times it by 6, and so about 5740. This is daily, right? And so times it by 7, you're getting about 74,000 Intel every week from your raids. So this is kind of important as your kind of general Intel weekly. Now we're going to talk about this a little bit more because there's this monthly milestone in the Quasar Harbinger Command Center, and this is going to get you 100,000 Intel. But this is really important to note because you can only claim it one time. I will tell you right now that this is not important to unlocking Quasar. it will not unlock you Quasar that much sooner. It'll still be week 3 by the time that you unlock Quasar. So basically 2 weeks from now, you might be on your way to get unlocking Quasar. I really don't think there's a way. So the only way to fast track unlocking Quasar before week 3, I think, would be this stuff here, would be the Thunderbolts. So I'm not really talking about the Thunderbolts in this video because I don't know if they're going to be available free to play before week 3. And so realistically, the only way that you might unlock Quasar a little bit sooner, maybe by the end of week 2, if you do all of this stuff, which is all the Vigilante stuff and the Thunderbolt stuff, right? We have Songbird. No, actually, Songbird's not even coming out this week, is she? It might be on Monday next week. So again, it might still be week 3 by the time Quasar unlocks, but it'll be in that kind of end of week 2, early week 3 if you have the Thunderbolts. But again, not part of the video here. So this 100,000 intel is pretty important because of that weekly where you have to gather intel, right? Up to 300,000 intel. Now, if we go back to the math here, so there's 100,000 intel in Command Center week 1. And that's if you complete all the way up to all of this, really. So realistically, you know, maybe you're only getting about 70,000 intel by earning it over here. And this is kind of important because in terms of the estimated weekly by week 1 intel, how much did I add up? So the login calendar, the RTA pass, the Blitz milestone, the raids, and then the Command Center, which honestly is a little bit unfair. So maybe it's not even that high. And you can see that it's about 330,000. The reason why I point this out is because you might want to do one of these monthlies and only claim one of them. So for example, Daredevil Modern, claim this one for Harbinger week 1 for the gathering intel part. That way you pass the 300,000. So this does not, these numbers down here, they don't include these ones here. So by claiming one of these, and that'll get you over the 300,000 threshold. And that way you can save the other 2 for possibly week 2 or week 3. Because I don't know what the objectives are going to be for week 2 and week 3. If it's going to be the exact same, I don't know. And so it might be wise to maybe just claim one of these at a time for this milestone so you can get that done. And then we're going to take a look at the other side of things, which is going to be the Harbinger monthly. This is going to be your Quasar objectives. Oops, sorry. And so we're going to take a look at this. Now, the total points required to just get Quasar shards, there's 20 milestones basically for Quasar, and it's every 10. So there's every 10 points gets you a milestone. You get 200 shards, but you need 180 to an unlock. So basically, you need 180 of these Harbinger monthly points to get an unlock for Quasar. Now you can go further because it does go all the way down to 300. So that's going to get you additional intel, right? I think that's what's down here. So this will be important. I guess it's going to funnel into like Harbinger week 2, 3, something like down that, and just in general give you more intel to spend as well to funnel back into some of this stuff. But realistically, you're not getting down here until about week 3, week 4. That's the expectations for that. So the daily objectives, you are getting 3 per day. That means per week is 21, and per 28 days, because that's how long it lasts, is 84. So we're kind of looking at this as more of a weekly basis, and that's going to be about 21. So do keep an eye on that. And of course, I mentioned that make sure you're doing this stuff every single day. You're also getting lots of cords. Anyways, the weekly stuff, now this is important because you're going to be spending this in the store, right? Hopefully buying G20 minis, but I'll let you guys do whatever you want with it. I'm just putting my recommendations that I believe G20 is still the best way to do this. And so that's 45 points weekly if you're spending 300,000 intel. Now, you may have more intel in the bank than what you actually earn for the week, right? Just because of other ways to get it. There was that 20,000 free promo code as well. So you might still be able to do this. Just keep in mind from over here on the left, right, that your estimated weekly intel is around, it's pretty close to the 300,000 line. So what I still would do though, is I would claim only one of, like I told you, remember those rating milestones, just claiming one of them and not all 3 of them at the same time. That way you can stagger the milestone clears from the week 1 event versus the monthly event. And I think that's going to be a little bit important to make sure you guys clear that. So making sure that we get this done over here. That's going to be 45 points every week and 180 points over 28 days. But that doesn't mean that, you know, obviously there's other points here. Now, you also get additional points, and these are the exact same milestones, right? The 10 points for battling in raids with Hitmonkey, Silver Sable, and Daredevil. We already talked about this because of the intel. Now, you don't need these points, though, to actually get Quasar unlocked. And that's what I was trying to mean. It's kind of, it might be a bit confusing. I hope that I'm being a little bit clear about this, because by claiming this milestone, it's going to wrap into the Harbinger week 1, right? Because it's the gather intel part that's important. This is earning. It's earning, basically earning intel. So by claiming this monthly, that intel is then going to funnel into the week 1 milestone. But you don't really want to go well over the milestone, because what if on week 2 you need this 100,000 to help you over the line, or to help push you over the line a little bit easier. So what I'm going to be doing is, once I clear this, I'm just going to be claiming one of these for the Harbinger week 1 and sit on the rest until later for week 2. Maybe claim one every week. I might do something like that, because realistically, I don't think that you are going to get Quasar much before week 3 unless you're spending on the Thunderbolts characters. And so the expected points after week 1 is going to be about 66. Now, this does not include any of the Vigilante points. Again, this is just your general. So this is going to be the 45 from the spending the intel, which you should be able to do, the 300k intel per week, and then the 21 from the objectives. So that's 66 roughly per week. Just from that stuff. There's 4 weeks, of course, so that's how you're going to get the rest of the intel stuff later in week 4. And that means by week 2, you're going to be at 132. Now, you can see that if you add the 132 plus the 30 from the Vigilantes, you're still not at a Quasar unlock. You would basically need to have 2 of the Thunderbolts characters unlocked in order to do this. And so you'd have to be able to, you get 10 points, so you would have to have Victoria Hand and Songbird both in order to be able to unlock Quasar by the end of week 2, essentially, if they're available that way. So you would be able to do 132 plus 30 points from the Vigilantes plus 20 points, so an extra 50 would give you 180, which is what you need for a Quasar. So I don't think that would be like the beginning of week 2. It would be like probably towards the end of it or something like that. And then for everyone else, you will be able to get Quasar unlocked by week 3, because you'll have 198 points. In fact, you only need 180, so you'll probably be able to get it very early on in week 3. So the difference between spenders and free to play, it'll be less than a week. It could only be like 4 or 5 days. So it's not going to be hugely significant. And I guess we still have to wait as well for a Quasar Red Stars, which is going to be through the Scourge event. And I don't know when that's going to be, week 3, week 4. I don't know when that's going to be, probably week 4, I would assume, once everyone has a Quasar free to play unlock. But that's just my thoughts there. So the takeaway from this for me is going to be careful about claiming your Vigilantes monthly milestone. I'm just going to be claiming one of these per week, just to give me enough intel to make sure I'm clearing this particular objective of the 200 and 300,000 intel. It looks like I'm on course, but I think it's because we've had a lot of bulk. We've been receiving bulk intel lately, and so this will slow down a little bit. And depending on how much you're rating and what kind of difficulty you're running, you might get a little bit less there as well. So just a little bit of a public service announcement for you guys here. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I hope this helped. I apologize if this ran out a little bit longer. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.